My name is Michael Thomsen. I grew up in Denmark, but I lived all my adult life in Australia. I currently live in Tasmania, the island south of the mainland Australia, and it's a very beautiful place. I've been a herbalist and naturopath for nearly 40 years. I also have a PhD in medical sciences from the University of Sydney. And my biggest claim to fame is the phytotherapy desk reference, which is both a book for students and practitioners of herbal medicine and also an online application with herb-drug interactions and research, as well as traditional information about herbal medicine. So that's the main focus of my work now, is to update the book and the application.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for joining me. And today we're talking about caraway oil. So I did some research myself. Caraway oil has been one of those remedies that's been used for centuries in both culinaries and remedies. And now, can you tell me how it has been used historically in different cultures?
Sure. This is actually not a herbal medicine I've used as a medicine, and I actually tend to avoid it in any of the foods because I really dislike the taste. There are not many things I don't like, but this particular taste is very strong to me, and I don't like it, so I avoid it. But it is a very strong medicinal plant as well as a spice, and it's native to Western Asia, Europe, and North Africa, so all around the Mediterranean as well. And it's been called by many names in different regions, Persian common, and also in Sanskrit, which is the Indian language, written language anyway, is called Caraway. So you can see that it spans a huge area of use in food. It's actually a member of the carrot family. If you look at the caraway seed, it looks very similar to a carrot seed. It's been used in cooking, and it's also a medicinal product or medicinal plant, and it's used in aperitifs. These are digestive liquids or liquors that are used around mealtime to improve digestion. I grew up in Denmark and we have a very famous liquor called aquavit. And aquavit is very strong. I think it's something like 40% alcohol. It's very strong and it tastes horrible. There are different flavors, but they all have caraway seed extract as a flavor. People love it around lunchtime. They have it in little snaps, they call little glasses, and they drink that to improve digestion. And that's not for me. So that I feel a bit vague on the caraway oil, but it is a very much loved flavor. It's very pungent, and that's probably why I don't like it. So it's a very strong sort of earthy smell as well, and taste. And in Denmark, where I grew up, as I mentioned, it's also added to bread and cheeses. Little seeds in the bread or in the cheese. I remember as a child trying to pick them out because I really hated the taste of them. It's not for children, that's for sure.
Now, that caraway oil has been used so extensive in a historical content, then you also mentioned that in modern days it's used to treat indigestions and bloating of the stomach. Is there any other indications that it also treats in a medicinal way?
Yeah, I think that's still the main indications as far as I understand. Traditionally, it was used for indigestion, but also for pneumonia. I'm not quite sure exactly how that would work for pneumonia. It wouldn't be a choice remedy for pneumonia, but very much for indigestion as an appetizer. Also, it has the ability to stimulate breast milk production. A woman breastfeeding may find that having caraway seed extract or using eating caraways may help that production of the breast milk. So that's one additional indication. But in more modern times, caraway oil has been combined with peppermint oil and menthol as well for use in functional dyspepsia. That's just general stomach upsets, and it's been shown in clinical studies to be beneficial. Apparently, you can also apply caraway seed oil to the abdomen to relieve symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. So irritable bowel syndrome is often associated with some bloating and pain and cramping. And so rubbing on that caraway oil can be quite beneficial. It's also used apparently in aromatherapy for these respiratory conditions, maybe because it's relaxing to the respiratory system, been used in bronchitis and coughs. Quite a lot of essential oils can be inhaled and have a positive effect, an anti-inflammatory and a relaxing effect on the respiratory system. Apparently, it's also being investigated. This is the essential oil. It's been investigated for use in diabetes as well, and even to normalize thyroid function. The research is quite extensive of caraway and really ongoing as well. And you can take the oil internally as well, but with all essential oils, you have to be really careful with taking anything internally. And it's something that you need some professional advice about before you start taking it, essential oils internally. So you can put a few drops of an essential oil on a little bit of honey, on a teaspoon of honey, and then just take that like that. But it's very potent, very strong, and it should not be done without professional supervision.
I see.
There's no problem eating caraway seeds in cooking and so on, or making a tea and drinking it, or applying the oil externally. But taking it internally with honey is quite potent, and that should only be done under supervision.
I see. It seems very straightforward. It also makes a lot of sense now that it's used in Asia to treat IBS, considering it's pretty common and prevalent in Asian populations. Now, if there is one other thing you can add about a caraway oil as a surprising fact, what might you say it has the effect beyond the medical system?
I had to look that up to come up with something for you. And apparently, caraway seeds that has been used a lot in sort of folklore and superstition. It was believed in medieval Europe that caraway seeds had the power to prevent theft. And apparently, people would sprinkle caraway seeds into their valuables or mix them into the livestock feed to ensure that their possessions and animals would not be stolen. I don't know how that relates to anything medicinally, except that I guess giving it to the animals might help their digestive system, but I don't know about reducing the risk of theft. But anyway, it was also used in love potions and spells that you could put on people. But the most important thing is that it is a medicinal plant. And apparently, there is also a semi solid preparation of caraway oil in a concentration of 2% that can be applied to the abdomen of infants and children for colic. So that might be a really nice sort of product to explore for the colic that can be quite severe in babies. So that's a nice application of caraway as well. And as I mentioned, the essential oil can also be used for stimulating breast milk production.
That is great to know. And now I will know what I want to do if I don't want to lose my cattle.
Excellent.
Thank you, Michael, for the information on caraway oil.